Right then, so let's have a look, see how we can move this on. So what we're going to look at today is using line of best fit, and also understanding kind of where we can use it and maybe where we can't use it, right? Where we cannot use it. So we're going to go on to this one in just a second. Let's just go back to the one that we did last lesson. So we look at this one first of all. And so last lesson we drew this out. So all I'm going to do is like a standard kind of question from here is it might say describe the correlation. So if I said describe the correlation, I'd say it's positive correlation. It's a reasonably strong correlation. Obviously we can disagree slightly on that, but you just say it's a positive correlation. And then we're going to draw a line of best fit on. Before I draw my line of best fit, though, if there is no correlation at all, like this one, there's no point trying to draw a line of best fit on there. Doesn't make sense. All right. Where do I draw? What is a line of best fit? So a line of best fit is that we're just going to draw a line that follows the sort of the trend of these points. Okay. Now we all might draw this line in slightly different places. Okay. And that's absolutely fine, right? What I've tried to do is I've tried to get roughly the same number of points on each side of the line. Okay? But everybody might draw that in a slightly different place, but we'd all kind of get it roughly in the same spot. There's a bit of, in exam questions, I always give it a little bit of leeway with this, all right? I'm not saying mine's perfect, right? Mine's pretty good, right? That would be absolutely fine. Right, what questions would we be asked? It might say something like, right, so I've got somebody comes along who's got a shoe size of 9, for instance. So therefore, what would their weight be? So you just come up here. There we go. Read it off. And you would say that person would have, right, so if I'm looking at this here, 9. Obviously, this other person had a weight of 78 kilograms. But actually, if I was just guessing, if I said, right, I've got somebody else and they got shoe size 9, then I would say they were about 81, 82 kilograms. What about if I've got somebody who's maybe got shoe size 7? I just do exactly the same. There we go. And I would say about 73 kilograms. I suggest you get your ruler out and actually try and line it up. All right? And it'd just make your life a little bit easier when you're doing this. There you go. You might be asked the other way around. You might say, right, I've got somebody who's got a weight of 85 kilograms. And what's their shoe size? There you go. Okay, so it might do it the other way around. And then I would just come and read it off backwards. Now, limitations. Well, one, we can't do this if there's no correlation, right? They have to be kind of going along following a trend, right? If the points are all over the place, this doesn't make sense. Now, the other place where this is a limiting factor is it sometimes says something like, right, let's predict somebody's weight who's got a shoe size of 13, 14 or 15. And the problem with that is it's beyond the range of the data that we've got. So if I'm trying to make a prediction over here, yeah, the line may well go up like that, but I don't know, and it becomes less reliable. So what it usually says is it will usually say something like, right, if I've got somebody who's got shoe size of 8 and I've got somebody who's got shoe size of 13, who would have, it asked me to work out their weights, and it would say which answer's more reliable. This one's more reliable because it's within the range of the data that I've got. Okay? Within the range of the data that I've got. This one is outside the data that I've got. I don't know what's going to happen over there. It may well go on in the same kind of line, but we don't know that. So I can't, so we cannot do that. Right, let's have a look at one more quick example. There we go, I've got one here. It's just a lot of words over here. It looks really confusing. I've already got a graph drawn out here. Right, scatter graphs, I haven't got to worry about drawing it. And It says draw a line of best fit on the graph. Okay, so what it is, it's some people have done a maths test and an English test, and we plotted all their results, and surprisingly, they ended up on a sort of a reasonably sort of straight line. There's a weird one over here, though. There's one over there. Right, so it says draw a line of best fit. So let's draw a line of best fit. So let's put a line in. So it's roughly following those. There we go. Now, to be honest, I kind of ignored that one. Draw a line of best fit on the graph. Right, that's done. There we go. Right. Jimmy was ill on the day of the maths test. If he scored 75 in his English test, so 75, there's 75 just there, predict what his maths mark would have been. So, there we go. Coming across. I think he would have scored about 55, look, because English 75, just based on the information that we've got, reading across about 55. Now, we've also got Eleanor was ill on the day of the English test. If she scored 35 on her maths test, predict what her English result would have been. So if she, this is just doing it the other way around. So she scored 35. So I think she would have scored about 50. Okay, you can see what I've done there. I went up to 35 on maths, come across to the line, and drop down, and we've got about 50. Remember, you're always given a little bit of leeway on this. Right, now, what do we think about this point over here? If you notice, when I draw the line, I ignored it. All right, this is what we call an outlier. It's just it's a rogue value, right? It's just some odd value that's over here. Now there might be a reason for that. You might be asked within a question, it might say, right, can you identify the outlier? Can you identify the odd piece of data? Okay? If you're looking at the trend, this one bucks the trend. It would be interesting to know why this result is so different, right? I would want to know, right? Let's find out about this particular point. Obviously, I have no more information, so we can't actually do that. But I would want to know about this. Somebody has scored really low in their English, but really high. So one of the highest in maths, one of the lowest in English. Okay, which completely bucks the trend of everybody else. So it may well ask me about this point just up here in some way, and it's called an outlier. Okay, it's called an outlier. So it's an interesting point to identify. Now, if you've only got one point that's over here, effectively you can kind of ignore it, right? You sort of pretend it's not there really, right? As I did. If there were a couple more points over here, well then that becomes a little bit more difficult to ignore. Okay, so then putting this line up here is not so good. But if it's just one, possibly two, right, sometimes you have to use a bit of a judgment call there. All right, but it would usually just be 1 point. Okay, so remember, you're going to now have a go at trying to use a line of best fit. So trying to draw a line of best fit on there and really thinking about what it tells you. All right, so have a go at trying a few of these questions for us. Okay.